Welcome to Two Cooks in the Kitchen. Today we are going to make a terrine or country pate. We were gifted some rabbit livers. So this is what I found to utilize them. We're going to clean up the livers, and we have 11 ounces of rabbit livers, 11 ounces of bacon, a pound of pork shoulder, and we're going to use some garlic, shallot, a little bit of thyme, a tablespoon of thyme, 2 tablespoons of parsley, 2 bay leaves, a half cup of pistachios, a pinch each of ginger, cloves, and mace, and 1 ounce of the finest brandy. Whatever. So I'm going to clean up these livers, okay. And all of this meat is going to get chopped into very small pieces, and everything else is all going to be combined with it. I'll, chop up the thyme and the parsley small, the garlic and the shallot. And this is all going to sit in a bowl for a little while and let the flavors mix together. And then briefly pulse it in the food processor to kind of chop it up a little bit finer. And then we're going to put it in a pan and cook it. And that's what today's going to be like. I'm going to work on this meat and get it into little tiny pieces, and we'll come back when that's done. So these livers are already pretty clean. There was just a little tiny bit of gristle I had to take off of them. But also, this can be made with any kind of liver. If you're making more of a pate, you could do this with chicken livers, which are easy to find. Any kind of liver. This dish is also often made just with game meat, not even liver, for a terrine. So now you know, and as they say, knowing is half the battle. Does anyone remember who used to say that all the time? Well, later on in this episode, we'll tell you. Okay. So here we have our bunny livers and our pork shoulder. I saved out some of the bunny livers to lay down in the middle of this loaf. And I'm going to add, here's our 11 ounces of chopped up bacon. And what we're building here is called a force meat, which is meat, fat, and seasonings together. This kind of sounds like what you'd put in a sausage wrapper. These can also be, it can be put in dumplings, it can be used in a number of different ways. For our sake today, we are going to make this into a loaf. Here's our thyme and parsley and bay leaves all chopped up. And I've got about 5 garlic cloves and 1 large shallot. And we're going to put the pistachios in. They just go in like this, and later on we'll get them to split up in the food processor. A dash of ginger, a dash of ground cloves, and a pinch of mace. And mace is in every terrine recipe I found. We had to go to the store to get it specifically for this. And lastly, our 1 ounce of brandy in Kelly's new ounce measurer.
Jigger.
So then we just roll up our sleeves and get right in there with our hands. Mix this all really well. Ooh, yeah, that feels.
I always wear gloves.
You could wear gloves on a
out.
project like this, but come on, it's just food.
It's a gross texture in your fingers.
Okay. So once this is thoroughly mixed, we are going to put this in the fridge and let all these flavors marry for a couple of hours, and we'll come back and build our terrine. All right, so this has been in the fridge for a while, letting the flavors meld, and now we're just going to chop this a little bit in the food processor. We don't want to get this you know, we're not trying to puree this. We're just trying to reduce it down to a little smaller chop. If we pureed this till it was smooth, we'd be making more like a mousseline, which, according like the name, you would want to be like a smooth mousse. But this is much more of a country dish, not so refined as all that. Oh, it's yeah, greasy. So that's what we're getting. I'm doing this in small batches so I don't have to over blend it to get it to work. So we'll come back when this is done. All right, so we are ready to assemble our terrine. I have lined this loaf pan with parchment paper and then overlapping pieces of Parma ham, prosciutto. And leaving it hanging off the edges, we're gonna fold this up so this thing is completely wrapped up in prosciutto when we're ready to bake it. So, this is gonna be kind of a tight fit, but we're gonna put half this mixture in here. And smooth it down. Probably need a little more than that. And then we've got our reserved bunny liver that we're gonna put it right in the middle of this dish and then put the other half on top. And we definitely want this packed in here tight. This would be a great dish to make on Easter, and then you can tell the kids that you've cooked a bunny. Oh, wait, no.
I had a friend who used to call it super chicken so the kids wouldn't think they were eating their bunnies or wouldn't know they were eating their bunnies.
Look at that, nice little lino bunny liver. Don't want to waste it. Okay, and then the rest of our force meat. Yeah, this is certainly going to fill this pan, but this is the best pan I had for doing this. Make sure it's in all the nooks and crannies. I can squeeze the rest of this in here so we don't waste anything. So, yeah. It's a nice gooey mess. But you know, after this gets cooked, it's going to be just lovely. Now we're going to put another piece of the prosciutto over the top. This is the Costco prosciutto, by the way. It's a great deal. If a little difficult to work with. But I haven't ever seen prosciutto that isn't. And then we're going to fold these hanging flaps over the top of this thing. Get it all wrapped up. And then I'm going to use the rest of this to finish the job.
Gives a whole new meaning to meatloaf.
Yeah. Similar. And our last piece. See if I can get this to stay together. Nope. Okay. And there we have our terrine ready to bake. All right, so we're ready to cook our terrine. What we have here is a roasting pan with a rack in the bottom and enough water to come at least halfway up the side of our terrine pan. I have wrapped this tightly in foil so nothing's gonna escape or get in. And I'm just gonna, and I boiled the water and poured it into the pan. And the oven is at 350. So we're just gonna let that cook just like that
For
an hour.
an hour.
And there you have it. So while we're waiting for our terrine to cook, we're having a shot and a beer. This is the Don Julio 70th anniversary double anejo or something blanco, anejo blanco. It's the most delicious tequila in the world. Tastes like white chocolate. So you know, one of the things, this is the 4th of July, by the way, which is why we're celebrating with a shot and a beer. One of the things I really miss during this quarantinio is having people over and sharing food with them. We make all this delicious food and we can't share it with anybody. I made ice cream yesterday and we have to eat it all. I needed people to come over and eat it with me, but we can't do that right now. So this, that's one of the most difficult things about this quarantine. And with our terrine, we're gonna be stuck with the whole damn thing because there's no one to, we can't share it with anybody. So now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Who used to say that? Why, it was our good friend G.I. Joe.
Seriously.
Seriously. It's true.
I need more backstory.
It's really true. That's what, now you know, and knowing is half the battle.
Okay.
The other half, I think, was shoot 'em up and stuff, but there you go. So our terrine spent 2.5 hours in the oven. I was looking for an internal temperature of 185, and it took that long. I think, I've never made this before, by the way, but the recipe I was looking at said this should take an hour. So maybe they have a bigger pan so that the stuff is all spread out more, but this should be fine. I mean, it seems great. It's been cooling here on a rack now for an hour, and we're going to put it in the fridge to get it really cool. But at this point, what it needs is, it needs weight pressing down while it cools. So we're going with the May Ploy. Put this on here and just hope it's enough. I think it's going to be good. But this has to cool now for at least 3 hours, maybe even overnight. And that is that for now. All right, so it's the next day and our terrine has been sitting in the fridge, and it just popped right out of the pan, super easy. Let's see what we've got here. Oh yeah, look at that. So this is the idea. And let's just see how it tastes. Okay. That's really pretty good. I'm definitely tasting the duck liver in there. Duck liver? No, it was rabbit liver. Definitely tasting the rabbit liver in there. I don't know what to compare it to. It doesn't, it's got a gamey flavor. It's really quite nice. I don't know what else to say about it, really.
Is it dry or?
It's not dry at all. It's quite moist.
You turn it this way towards. Yeah, and I'll try a bite. There you go.
Okay, that's
Oh yeah,
it's really pretty good.
that's good. It's got just barely enough salt.
Yeah, I mean, you could even fry it up a little, you know, like Spam or something.
Only way better than Spam.
It's very interesting. There you have it.
Did you point out that you had to cook it longer than an hour?
Yes.
Okay, I can't remember if we talked about that. That was yesterday.
That was yesterday, yep. I think there you have it, a terrine. My first.
First time for everything.
Glad to have you along on this experiment. Thanks for watching Two Cooks in the Kitchen, and we'll see you next time.